Okay, so we can start. So the white, please, pumasok na lang siya ulit kamo, ha? Okay, so the course outline. So we have the major functions of the reserve system. So structure of the reserve system, monetary policy, tools used by the central bank, and monetary policy considering recent financial crisis. So, okay. So reserve system. So each nation, to be short na lang, actually all countries, no, they have this what you call central bank, no, that regulates the financial institutions. Now here in the Philippines, meron tayo ang tawag natin Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. No? But before, the name of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas was actually Central Bank of the Philippines, no? But it was changed to Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is an independent central bank in that its decisions do not have to be ratified by the President or another member of the executive branch of the Philippine government. So the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is actually an independent institution, no? Independent institution, although part of the government, but it is an independent institution beyond the control or power of the President. And actually, yung sweldo nga ng Bangko Central Governor mataas pa kaysa presidente, no, because of the complexity and riskiness, no, of the job of the Bangko Central Governor. Then the responsibility of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So the Bangko Sentral shall provide policy directions in the areas of money, banking, and credit, implementing monetary policy to maintain stability of the financial system. So ano ito yung mga monetary policies niya, no? So one is of course yung reserve requirement. Although makikita rin natin ito mamaya. Yung reserve requirement is actually a requirement by BSP. So let's say out of 100 pesos, no? Let's say 100 pesos, meron ni-retain na 20% reserve requirement. So meaning, out of the 100 pesos, the 80 pesos now can be used by the bank or financial institutions for lending. But the reserve requirement of 20% of 100, which is 20, ibig sabihin nun, yan dapat itabi ng bangko. And it will be kept in the books of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So it may be in the form of reserve requirement or excess reserve. Okay? So, isa yon, yung reserve requirement. Another one is, of course, yung discount rate na tinatawag. Now, this is the rate charged to the banks if they, let's say, lack in the requirements of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Kasi, ang mga bangko, they are required to maintain mga reserve requirements. No? O kaya mga cash position na tinatawag. Now, if they did not meet this reserve requirement or cash position, no, this bank, no, can borrow from other banks. But if these other banks cannot lend money to this particular bank din, halimbawa si Bank A, kailangan ng pera kasi hindi niya ma-meet yung reserve requirement o yung sumobra siya ng pautang kaya nagkaroon ng kulang sa reserve requirement niya. O kaya yung cash position ratio niya kulang. So ang gagawin nito, manghihiram siya sa mga bangko, no? Kay Bank A, kay Bank B, Bank C, Bank D. But let's say Bank B, C, and D, they do not have excess money. No, they do not have excess reserves to lend to Bank A. O si Bank A, lilipat niya yung kay Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, through the discount window, will lend to this bank. Ang tawag sa kanya ay discount rate. So kasi pagka discount rate in other topics, no, yung discount rate is used to get the present value, no, of the cash inflow. Pero dito yung discount rate is actually a borrowing rate lent by by BSP to the bank o the Bank A. So yung discount rate mas mataas siya compared to the charges, no? O charges by other banks. Kasi primarily they would like to itong BSP would like to discourage sana yung borrowing banks. No, kasi mataas yung interest rate ha? And kasi pagka tumaas ang discount rate, chances are, no, tataas yung interest rate sa market. Kasi it is also a signal that the interest rate will increase if the BSP will charge a discount rate higher than other banks. Para nagiging signal siya na yung interest rate dapat tumaas. Pagka tumaas ang interest rate, anong nangyayari? Yung supply ng pera sa economy, didiit. No? And of course, may impact yun sa economy. Kasi when it comes to conducting of business, medyo magiging mahal because the interest rate now is higher. Okay, maliwanag ba yan? Maliwanag ba?
Yes
Yes
po,
po.
sir.
Yes po, sir.
Ayan. Pagka nagtanong ako, sagot ka agad para I can continue immediately. Okay, tapos sabi rito, it shall have supervision, regulatory, and examination powers over the banks and those exercising quasi-banking operations of non-bank financial institutions. So, supervision, regulatory, and examination powers. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kasi ang BSP is considered to be the banks of all the banks. I repeat, BSP is considered to be the banks of all the banks. So meaning all banks in the Philippines, they are required to have an account with BSP. They are required to have an account with BSP. And then at the same time, this BSP will going to audit all these financial institutions. So aside from the independent audit conducted by let's say mga SGB, Punong Bayan, Deloitte, BSP will also audit these banks. At nakakatakot pagka nag-audit ang bank, ang BSP I mean, because every mistake committed by the bank, it is coupled by penalty. No? May penalty palagi yan, ang BSP, kaya kumikita rin sila sa mga penalty nila sa mga bangko. If this bank did not meet the requirements of BSP. Halimbawa nga, yung cash reserve requirements, nagkulang yung reserve requirement nila. Okay, yung cash position ratio nila. Lalo na may mga Basel pa na tinatawag, Kasi they're trying to control also, yung mga scam or scandal happening in the economy. So, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga control measures, especially banks. Kasi ito yung catalyst ng mga scandal o kaya yung mga halimbawa gusto magkaroon ng improvement sa economy. BSP is very important and the bank's role the bank's role is very important in the progress of one's economy. Kasi diyan nga nagsisirculate yung money and that is a source of financing for people and for businesses, Tapos meron tayong tinatawag na quasi-banking operations of non-bank. So you know what is a quasi-banking? Sino nakakaalam ng quasi-banking? Tignan natin, magtatawag ako Si Erica. Erica May? Are you there, Erica May? Erica? Erica? Wala si Erica yata. Dalawang Erica, Dalawa pala yung Erica. Erica Ramos.
Hello po, sir.
Erica Ramos, you know what is a quasi-banking operations?
Yung quasi-banking po is hindi po sila bank, pero performs yung mga services ng bank. Kuwari, nagpapalend po sila, pero hindi po sila bangko. Example po niya, mga pawn shops, ganun po.
Sige. Quasi-bank. Pawn shop is not actually, hindi siya, alam ko hindi pawn shop, hindi siya quasi-bank. Ang quasi-bank is mga investment house, So when you see investment house, they are not actually accepting deposits, but they are accepting investments. And then they can issue securities, like yung mga stocks, bonds, if that is if they want to, if companies would like to raise money by issuing stocks or kaya bonds or commercial papers, so they can go to the quasi-bank. Although yung quasi-bank is also performed by universal bank. Okay, take note quasi-banking operations can only be performed by a universal bank. It cannot be performed by a mga thrift bank or savings bank. I do not know yung commercial bank kung pwede, but I believe hindi rin, That is one of the limitations and difference of a commercial bank and universal bank. Kasi ang universal bank, they have the complete service, including issuance of securities, So in quasi-bank, as if this is a bank, but they are not accepting deposits similar to banks. Kasi ang banks naman, ang main main source of financing nila ay deposits, no? Yung mga current account, yung mga savings account, time deposit. And then use this for lending, no, to businesses. So yung mga bank, quasi-banking na to, they are also accepting investments but not in the form of savings account or current account. No, nag-accept sila yung mga accounts receivable investment, yung mga ganyan. No, yung mga mutual funds, UITF, meron. Kaya ang quasi is as if this is a bank but it is not actually a fully operational bank. But what makes this different is that they can issue securities, no? Like bonds, stocks, tapos yung mga commercial papers. So yun ang lalapitan natin, no? And then, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas also providing payment and other financial services to the Philippine government. So ano yung mga yan? So for example, yung mga cheque, no? Yung mga cheque, alam mo yung check, no? Alam mo yung check, hindi yung check na babae, ha? Kundi yung check, ha? Yung demand deposit natin, meron tayong check. So yung check, hindi ring manok, ha? So this is a check yung paano ba explain yung check na to? Basta check siya, no? If you have a demand deposit or a current account, no, you use payment yung check. Okay. So, syempre halimbawa, meron tayong bangko, BSP, bangko, ayan ba to? BPI for example. Yung payor, yung account niya is with BPI. And then the payee is with ICBC, no? So how can you transfer the funds, no, from BPI, from the payor, going to the payee coming from ICBC? Siyempre dapat meron siyang third party na papasukan, which is BSP. No, BSP through the clearing system. So meron tayong PCHC na tinatawag, no, yung Philippine Clearing House Corporation. So yung check ni payor coming from BPI, syempre babayad na kay payee, so si payee i-deposit na kay ICBC. And then si ICBC papadala sa clearing house, no? So since yung BSP, they have all the accounts of all the banks, di ba? So mangyayari lang doon, i-debit yung account ni payor from BPI, then si BPI i-debit naman yung account ng BSP. And then BSP, once na-clearan cheque yan na class, pagka na-clear, pagka hindi clear, syempre tatalbog. So pagka na-clear, i-debit na nga ni BSP yung account ni BPI at si BPI naman i-debit yung account ni payor. So sa account naman ni RCBC, BSP will credit the account of BSP. Mali na naman. BSP i-credit yung account ni RCBC. At si RCBC naman i-credit yung account ni payee. So yan yung other, no, providing payment and other financial services to the Philippine public financial institutions, foreign financial institutions. The same, no? Kasi sometimes you are making payments on behalf of the, let's say, mga importer. O dadaan din sa bangko yan to pay the kung tayo importer, magbabayad tayo dun sa exporter in another country. Okay? So yung mga remittances, ganyan din, no? So it is part of the function of the Philippine o ng BSP. Nire-regulate din nila yan. Kaya nga class, pagka kayo nagkaroon ng halimbawa kaso sa BSP, in particular, syempre yung bank kasi magre-report. Pagka kayo nagkaroon ng kaso sa bangko at tinanggal kayo sa bangko, you will be blacklisted in all the financial institutions. Halimbawa, no? Halimbawa lang, nagnakaw ka sa bangko and it was proven, no, convicted ka. So your name will be given to BSP. Blacklisted ka na nun. And once you are blacklisted, you can no longer work in any financial institutions. Kasi nga, nire-regulate ni Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas pati mga ganyang criminal act done by the employees. At napakaigpit ng BSP. No? Kasi kung halimbawa kayo rin, before you can start to work in a bank, especially if in a branch, there will be a background investigation. Although other companies are also doing that, but for banks, it is very, very important. Kasi they have to look at your your background, no? Especially when it comes to money. Kung halimbawa nagkaroon kayo ng negosyo na gambling, automatic tanggal ka. Ha? Kasi yung integrity when it comes to handling of money is very, very important in the banking institution. Kaya pagka gusto nyo gumawa ng kalokohan, huwag na kayong gumawa ng kalokohan doon. Kasi maraming kalokohan ng bangko. Maraming kalokohan ng bangko. Ha? Pwede kang magnakaw kung gusto mo. But you have the integrity not to do that. Ako lang nung ako yung nasa RCBC ba ako that time? Tama, RCBC ako. I was the head of the ATM department. So alam niyo, ATM department, ang ginagawa nun, kami rin yung naglo-load ng pera sa machine. Alam mo, ang machine that time, nagloloko palagi. Hindi pa perfect. Hindi pa mabilang masyado ng ATM yung labas ng pera. So yung may iwan ng pera, minsan, sobra. Pagka sobra, pwede mo nang kupitin yun. Although may journal yun, but you can always reconcile na sabihin mo, mali. Ganun lang, no? Maraming gumawa kalokohan na ganyan. But what happened to them? They are already blacklisted in the financial institutions. Any financial institutions, they can no longer work. And just imagine how many financial institutions do we have? Napakadami, no? Okay, so next. So BSP functions, the official function of the BSP is enumerated as follows. So monetary policy. So maaaring yung monetary policy natin ay contractionary policy or expansionary policy. Nandiyan yung financial regulation. Kaya yung financial regulation, ibig sabihin yan, may mga Central Bank Act na tinatawag tayo, no? Price stability, stable currency, and stable financial system. Kasi nga, for the price stability, they are trying to control yung inflation, no? So nandiyan yung price stability, stable currency, also the same, no? Kung merong oversupply ng dollars, so they will control also the supply of dollars. Hindi lang dollars, even other currencies ganun din, ha? So because they would like to have a stable financial system. So ito, sige, ito lender of last resort. Ito nabanggit ko na rin kanina itong mga to, no? But let me explain again yung lender of last resort, no? Tulad na sinabi ko kanina, you cannot immediately borrow money from the BSP. Lagi na lang silang last resort. So if other banks cannot lend you money, so the last resort will be the BSP. Kahit na yung mga repossessed properties ninyo, ng mga bangko, no? That becomes a non-performing asset. Pagka naging non-performing asset yan, anong mangyayari sa bangko? Ha? Anong mangyayari sa bangko? Tingnan natin si Jingboy. Jingboy? Kasi minsan nagpapautang si bangko, di ba? Sa mga companies. Pagka nagpautang sila, syempre yung pera, bawas na ang pera ng bangko. But sometimes these companies, they cannot pay. And then some of the yung mga minor gauge nila, no? Some of the properties are repossessed by the company, making it what? A non-performing asset. Ano mangyayari kay bangko, Jingboy?
Sir, magiging illiquid po yung bangko.
What do you mean delinquent?
Illiquid po.
Liquid.
Opo.
Kala ko delinquent. Okay, that's correct, no? Magiging illiquid. So what will happen? Probably this bank cannot meet already the cash position. Yung reserve requirement siguro ganun din kasi they lent so much, no? Kaya ganun. So ano mangyayari? They will borrow from the bank. Pagka yung bangko hindi nagpairam, yung BSP na. No? And pagka yung bangko na to, na nangyayaram, let's say naging very illiquid to the point na it is near to bankruptcy, what the BSP can do is to buy the non-performing assets. Bibilin yung mga repossessed properties ni bank. And then, pagka binili ni bank yon, ni BSP, magkakaroon ng pera si bank na naging illiquid. So they have the money again to revive their business by lending. Ha? So ganun siya. Ha? Maliwanag ba yon? Kahit sa currency issue, yan nga, yung mga kinokontrol nila yung yung mga dollars, no? Yung mga notes yan eh. Okay, so financial supervision, they supervises the banks, no? Regarding dun sa mga requirements nila, no? Tapos management of foreign currency reserves, so ito yung mga dollars, no? Pagka halimbawang oversupply din ng dollars, ang gagawin ni bank o ni BSP, they will buy the dollars. Okay? They will buy the dollars. Pagka sobrang taas naman ng value ni dollars, ang gagawin niya, magbebenta siya ng dollars. So, gano'n, ha? Kaya meron din tayong management of foreign currency reserves. Kasi ang international currency accepted naman talaga is US dollars. So, even if, let's say you are transacting with other countries, no, using other currency other than US, halimbawa, yung mga won, mga Deutschmark, no, pounds, sterling, yung mga ganyan. So before you can buy those currencies, normally you will go to the US dollars and then buy the foreign currency. So ganun siya, no? So ano pa ba? Determination of exchange rate policy. Now for the exchange rate policy, this is connected actually dun sa foreign currency reserves. Kasi yung exchange rate na to, nagbabago naman yan, depende sa supply and demand. So if there is an oversupply of dollars, the value of the dollars will go down. And then the value of peso will go up. Pero maganda ba palagi mataas ang value ng pera natin? Depende, no? Kasi depende if you are an exporter or exporter. Ha? So depende yan. Kaya yung determination of exchange rate policy depende also on how much currency do we have na reserves. And then other activities, the BSP functions as the banker, financial advisor, and other depository of the government. Its political subdivisions and instrumentalities and government-owned and controlled corporations. So bangko pa rin siya, no? Pero ito other activities na lang niya o other functions. Okay, yung history, mapabayaan na natin itong history, no? Pero actually yan dati ang pangalan niya is Central Bank of the Philippines. But they changed the name, no? Hindi ko alam kung parang time ni Fidel Ramos, no? President Fidel Ramos, na it was changed to Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And during the time of, I think Ferdinand Marcos, no? The former Ferdinand Marcos, meron siyang meron siyang ginawa na New Central Bank Act o Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ang bagong lipunan. Parang gano'n, no? But you know what? Who really developed the BSP? Alam niyo ba kung sino talaga nag-develop ng BSP natin? Meron kayong idea? Ha? Tingnan natin si Joji Alejandria. Naging student na ba kita, Joji?
Opo, sir.
Saan subject?
Intakwon po.
Intact one. Okay. So, kaya sabi ko parang familiar ka. Okay, Joji Alejandria. So, tingin mo, sino talaga yung nag-develop among the presidents in the country? So, actually, ako inabutan ko, marami na no? Nandyan si Ferdinand Marcos, after that, Cory Aquino, and then next si Joseph Estrada, no, not that Joseph, but si Fidel Ramos, then Joseph Estrada, no, tas GMA, and then si GMA, si Pinoy, and then of course last is Duterte, no? Pero among these presidents, sino ba nag-improve talaga ng BSP natin?
Si
Even
Manuel
past.
Rojas po.
Manuel Rojas was the one who yung establishing the central bank. But actually hindi siya. Ibig sabihin dinevelop talagang pinaganda niya, no? Inayos ng gusto. Kasi syempre kung 1948 yan, it is a neophyte during that time. So a lot of improvements has to be done, di ba? So tingin mo sino? May idea
Hindi
kayo?
ko po alam.
Wala, no? Pero actually, ito yung parang most hated president, but actually, parang isa rin sa pinakamagaling na presidente, no? Ang US nga, I believe na believe dito. Actually, si Ferdinand Marcos. Si Ferdinand Marcos. Hindi ako pro Marcos baka isipin niyo pro Marcos ako. Kasi, but if you will ask my opinion now, being one of the older people, alam niyo, sabihin ko siguro yung totoo, people before, no, they were more disciplined than the people today, no? Pero actually, ako isa sa mga aktivista before, ngayon people power na yan, no? And I even joined yung kay Cory Aquino for President movement. Pero ngayon, hindi ko nga alam kung nagsisisi ako o hindi. ha? Pero yun na nga. But he was the one who really developed the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. No? But later on, it was developed also by other presidents like si Fidel Ramos. No? But I would say that the improvement really came from the time of Ferdinand Marcos. Kahit na sa stock market natin, it was Ferdinand Marcos. Dati dalawa ang stock market natin dito, no? Yung stock exchange natin dalawa. But he joined he merged these two stock exchanges, no? Kaya nagkaroon dati ng Makati o Philippine Stock Exchange. Kasi dati pwede kang mag-arbitrage, no? Ang tawag doon sa arbitraging, halimbawa, yung price dito sa isang stock exchange mababa. Hindi, mataas pala. Hindi, tama, mababa. Tapos doon sa stock exchange na isang mataas. Ano pwede mong gawin? Di bibili mo dito sa isang mababa, ibebenta mo doon sa mataas. So nagkakaroon ng arbitraging. So nagkakaroon ng gulo doon sa stock market. But what Marcos did, he merged these two, no? Yung isa kasi located sa Binondo, then the other one is in Makati. But he merged these two stock exchanges. And actually, we are the first stock exchange in, hindi ko alam kung Southeast Asia or Asia, no? And he was also the one to develop that. Pero ngayon, malaki na rin ang Philippine Stock Exchange, di ba? Dati, less than 1,000 lang yan. Pero ngayon, nasa 5,000-6,000 ang index natin. Okay, so let's go to the structure of the reserve system in the Philippine context. So, yung ating governor is, of course, si Benjamin F. Jokno. No? So, eto pwede na sigurong basahin na lang kasi parang ano lang naman to, trabaho ng isang governor, no? So, anyway, this one, yung operating sector ng BSP, we have three. One is the monetary and economic sector. So it is mainly responsible for the operations activities related to monetary policy formulation, implementation, and assessment. So ito yung gumagawa nga ng mga policy, no, regarding yung pagka nagko-contract ka or nag-expand ka. And then you have the financial supervision sector. It is mainly responsible for the regulation of banks and other BSP supervised financial institutions, as well as the oversight and supervision of financial technology and payment systems. And then you have the currency management sector. Is mainly responsible for the forecasting, production, distribution, and retirement of Philippine currency, as well as security documents, commemorative medals, and medallions. By the way, when we say retirement, no, baka hindi nyo lang alam yung retirement. Isipin nyo, nagre-retire din pala yung Philippine currency. Kasi all the bills and coins, no, natin, these are all owned by BSP. And actually, that is a liability, no, on the part of the BSP. Kaya meron tayong pera, pambili lang natin yan, no? So, yung retirement, if you will notice, if you go to the bank, halimbawa, nag-deposit ka, may lumang pera. O kaya hindi naman talagang luma na, kundi lukot-lukot na siya. O yung tipong malulusaw na siya, no? O rin, dapat nang i-retire yan. Kaya sineseparate nila yung medyo bago sa hindi bago at yung luma. And then this old money, no, old bills or coins, distorted coins, it will be sent to the BSP para mag-produce ulit ng panibagong pera, no? So they are actually the one producing the money. Pero ang alam ko, ang papel binibili from other country. Hindi dito galing ang papel. Yung papel, alam ko, galing ng France. no? Kasi may mga fivers yan eh. Kung makikita nyo or you will observe our money, di ba meron kayong mga makikitang fivers, no? Ang babango pa nga niya pagka, ano, lalo na pagka bagong-bagong pera, you can see the fivers in it. So bali yan, ino-order lang natin, and then the printing, dati parang piniprint sa iba, pero ngayon meron na rin tayong sariling minting, no? Dito sa Timog East Avenue. Okay? And then we have the corporate service sector is mainly responsible for the effective management of corporate strategy, communications, and risks, as well as the BSP's human, financial, technological, and physical resources to support the BSP's core functions. Pabayaan natin yan. Ayan, pabayaan na rin muna natin to, no? Iba na lang. So itong structure natin, so syempre yung meron tayong monetary board, no? On top, may governor nandito, but of course the governing or the one in charge of the monetary board is still the governor, no? Nandun din siya sa monetary board, hindi pwedeng wala, ha? Tapos okay, so pabayaan na natin ito, ha? So punta tayo rito. So may mga regional offices daw siya. Ay, pabayaan na rin natin yan, huwag na yan, no? Pag-usapan natin itong balance sheet of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Now, look at the asset side of the balance sheet. So, ang pinakamalaki dyan, yung investment securities. Nakikita nyo? Maliit, ano? Napakaliit, ha? Ang lakayan natin ng konti. Ayan. O, nakikita nyo yung investment securities, kung magkano? Nasa trillion, ano? 2 trillion siya. Tama ba? Oo, 2 trillion siya lumalabas. Hindi nyo nakikita, no? Anyway, yung biggest amount is the investment securities. So these are the treasury bill or treasury securities or government securities, no, acquired by the government. Kasi nga, di ba, sabi natin, they are trying to control the supply of money to make the economy stable, no, in terms of price, in terms of yung currency, basta yung financial system natin. So that is one of the actions being done by the BSP to control, no, yung monetary system natin sa country. That is the investment securities are acquired by the government. So for example, if let's say yung inflation rate mataas, no, mataas. Anong gagawin ni BSP? Ang gagawin ni BSP, tataasan din niya yung interest, no? Paano tataas yung interest? No, halimbawa, reserve requirements. Ang gagawin niya, yung reserve requirements tataas. Pagka tumaas ang reserve requirements, liliit yung money supply. At pagka lumit yung money supply, tataas yung interest rate. At pagka tumaas ang interest rate, ang mangyayari yung inflation naman bababa. So yan ang ginagamit ng government din natin. But that is only one way. Ha? Kasi kanina nagbangkit ako yung discount rate. Na minsan hesitant nga ang bank or BSP to lend a discount rate. Kasi pagka mataas ang ginawa niya na discount rate, parang signal yon that the interest rate will go up. Kaya nga lang, normal naman talaga mataas ang interest rate na binibigay ni BSP compared to other banks. Kaya nga, he is trying to avoid that also. Kasi nga, once the interest rate is higher than that rate charges by other bank, what will happen is that chances are the interest rate of other banks will also increase. Now, they will charge also a higher interest. O, tapos, punta tayo doon sa right side naman, no? So, ang pinakamalaki naman dito ay yung deposits of banks and quasi-banks. Kasi tulad nga ng sinabi natin, BSP is the bank of all the banks. So, required yung banks to maintain certain amount of money, yung reserve requirement nga, dito sa BSP. And to do that, they have to open an account and then deposit that reserve requirement to BSP. Okay? So yan, tapos other liabilities, yung currency in circulation, malaki rin, no? Nasa 1,490,000,000. O yan yung currency in circulation kasi actually, tayo, halimbawa, kumita tayo, no? Employee tayo. So, or let's say businessman ka and you earn money from that. Eh, syempre yung perang kinita natin is in the form of medium of exchange, bale, no? Ito yung right natin to purchase. O kaya yung circulation, currency circulation, utang ng gobyerno yan sa atin. in the form of money, and then we use that to pay, no? To pay mga commodities na binibili natin. Okay, question, clarification. Question. Yapo. May question ka, Yapo? Kathleen?
Wala po, sir.
Wala. Si Matthew. Matthew, may question ka, Matthew?
Sir, question po.
Oh, yan, question. Naku,
Yung
nagtanong pa ako kay Matthew. Sige.
Yung excess reserves po ba dapat din deposit po sa BSP?
Actually, nire-report yan, yung excess reserves, no? Then, actually, yung excess reserves kasi, yan yung mga pautang naman ni bangko, ni bank, no? Ni bank sa ibang bangko. So, yung pagpapautang, it may be done through the deposit made sa reserve requirement. Kasi ang gagawin lang naman ni BSP, i-debit lang naman yung account ni bank. Tapos pagka-debit ng account ni bank, i-credit lang yung bank na nangangailangan. So it may be. Kasi lumalabas yung pera, hindi naman nagpupunta talaga sa kabilang bangko eh. Documents lang yan. No? Documents lang. And the documents are with BSP. But the next day, they will pay also. But in some instances naman, pero minsan ko lang nakita na nag-deliver ng cash. Pero bihirang mangyari yon. Hindi talaga dapat mangyari mag-deliver ng cash sa isang bangko. No, tapos i-report lang ng bangko yon doon. Kaya madalas dito, they are run by documents. No, documents lang. So i-debit lang yung account ng isang bangko, then i-credit yung account ng isang bangko. Kung nagpautang si BPI to RCBC, for example, doon sa libro ni BSP, i-debit lang si BPI and then they will credit RCBC. Kaya lang nga, yung pagpapautang na to, they are also in document. Kaya 1 day. Kasi yung mga reserves naman na to, excess reserves, 1 day lang yan. No, 1 day lang. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, just to meet the requirements of BSP. So yung cash reserve, excess reserves na to, maaring nasa libro ni BSP, maaring wala. But what I'm sure is that they are run by documents. No? They are run by documents. Pero yung mga documents na to, hindi gagawa dyan yung branch. Ang gagawa niyan yung Treasury Department nila. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Nasagot ba yung tanong? Kasi actually, kahit ako na taga-bangko, hindi ko nakikita kung paano nangyayari yun. Pero alam ko, they are run by transactions lang. Documents lang yan. Papel lang. No? Papel lang. So, but in my opinion, I believe nasa vault pa rin ni ano yan. Nasa vault pa rin ni BSP. Pero pwede kasi naman dahil minimum reserve requirement lang yan, yung reserves bale, so maaari rin yung pera na kay bangko mismo kasi excess reserve eh. Kaya actually yung excess reserves may take in different forms. Maraming forms yan. When I say forms, yung different securities, pwede yon, excess reserve. And then yung excess reserve kasi, malaking kinikita ni bank dyan pagka piniram din sa ibang bangko. Kasi yung reserve, although the reserves, BSP are paying interest for that, but the excess reserves has a higher income on the part of the bank who will lend this to the other bank who needs the money. Okay? So, okay na tayo rito, no? So, may question pa? Dayan Nicole, do you have question?
Wala naman po, sir.
Okay, wala ha. Maliwanag ang explanation ha.
Opo.
Maliwanag ba, Matthew? Si Matthew, pasensya na kayo kung tinatawag ko palagi si Matthew ha. Kasi kilala ko si Matthew ha. At saka si Justin pala, hindi ko natatawag si Justin ha.
Yes,
Justin.
po, sir.
Justin, kumusta?
Naman po, sir.
Okay, so may question ka ba, Justin? Maliwanag naman o ano? We need more.
Wala naman pong question.
Wala. Sige. What about the rest? May question ba? Wala O sige, continue tayo So currency outside banks are the second, and then na-discuss na natin to, no? Nabanggit ko na siya kanina ron, no? Aha. Anyway, yung major assets ng BSP's balance sheet, sabi rito, treasury securities, treasury currency, and gold and foreign exchange. No? Kasi actually, yung si BSP, we need also yung mga reserves, bale. Kaya nga, di ba, meron tayong tinatawag na reserves na tumataas. No? Na maabot ng 20, ngayon yata, parang nasa 22 or 23 billion na ang reserves natin. No? Bakit natin kailangan din magkaroon ng reserve? This time, it is Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas was the reserves. Kasi when we conduct business with the other countries, no, we need to have reserves to pay them also. Although, of course, it will be coursed by one bank to Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas for the payment. No? Kaya kung halimbawa, nag-i-import tayo, di magbabayad din tayo. No? Pagka nagbayad tayo, it may be in the form of US dollars, maybe in the form of pounds, no? Kay sterling, o depende kung saan country. But normally, we are converting first them to dollars before converting them to the actual currency that will be paid to the other company or to companies in other countries. Kaya kailangan natin ng reserves at importante ang reserves kasi pagka nakulangan tayo ng reserves, ang mangyayari din yan, mangungutang din si BSP. Na mangungutang si BSP sa World Bank, mangungutang siya sa ADB. Ganun din. Kaya it is important to have also our own reserves. But normally, the reserves are in the form of gold bullion. No? Kaya kung mapapanood din nyo yung Die Hard, napanood nyo ba yung Die Hard? Yung kay Bruce Willis? And then they try to steal the gold bullion of different countries. Kasi yung reserves natin are also in the form of gold bullion. Most of the time, gold bullion. O kaya paper transactions lang. No? Actually, sa history naman talaga ng finance, yung papel is only a papel. No? Papel lang talaga. But you have this paper, no? Yung paper na to, yung reserve mo, ilalagay mo. Halimbawa, ang reserve mo ay gold. Bibigay mo yung gold dun sa pinaka-bangko o yung BSP halimbawa, and then BSP will issue a note to you na meron kang gold roon na reserve. O ganoon din ang function ng BSP to other countries bale. Kasi ang lumalabas, meron din mga associations yung mga central banks, no? Para kung halimbawa si Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas dapat may account din sa ganitong bangko. O kaya naman si particular bank here in the Philippines, they also have an account with the particular bank in other countries. Kasi kung wala, we have to course through Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So the reason why they need also the reserves. Okay? Ay, 9:32 na. Ito, treasury securities. Ito yung mga T-bills, no? T-bonds, and other government securities. So they use this to control, no? To control the money supply. Yun na nga, kung they would like to control, halimbawa, they want the money supply to decrease, no?
Sir, nawala po kayo.
Hello? Hello?
Yes po, sir.
Sorry ha, na-disconnect ako eh. Pasensya na kayo.
Okay lang po, sir.
Sandali lang ha. I-upload ko ulit. Disconnect bigla eh. Alam mo, minsan ganun talaga nangyayari, no? Pasensya na kayo ha. Okay, saan tayo nag-stop? Nawala tuloy ako. Ito yata ano? Okay, anyway. Okay, dito na tayo sa monetary policy. Excuse me. So, monetary policy are measures employed by a nation's monetary authority. Naririnig niyo ako, class?
Yes
Hello?
po, sir.
Okay.
Po.
Yes, sir.
So, monetary policy are measures employed by a nation's monetary authority to influence economic activity, specifically by manipulating the supplies of money and credit and by altering rates of interests. No? So the primary objective of BSP's monetary policy is to promote a low and stable inflation conducive to a balanced and sustainable economic growth. So the adoption of inflation targeting framework for monetary policy in January 2002 is aimed at achieving this objective. Or to apply this, way back last year, di ba, biglang tumaas yung ating interest rate, ay ating inflation. Ano yung inflation rate na inabot natin last year? Yung pinakamataas nga? Naalala nyo ba? Ha? Yung inflation natin last year. Mga October siguro yan, no? Actually, nakalimutan ko yung yung inflation rate. Pero tumaas masyado ang ating inflation rate last year. Pero ngayon, bumaba naman nung nakarang mga buwan, no? Pero last year, in particular, para mga bandang August or September yata yon, no? Mga ganon. Pero hindi ko maalala kung ano inflation rate natin noon. Parang 6 or 7% yata or 16, parang ganyan. Pero parang may 6%, no? So ano bang ginawang move ni BSP that time? Are you familiar with the inflation rate? Nagmo-monitor ba kayo niyan o nagbabasa niyo ba sa newspaper yan? Diba, when we say kasi inflation rate, that refers to the increase in the prices of commodities without an increase in the production. Kaya tumataas yung prices. Diba? So anyway, what BSP did during that time was one, they increased the reserve requirement. Now, tinaas nila yung reserve requirement, especially when Governor Jokno took place, no? O took the position of the governor. Yun ang unang-una niyang ginawa. Tinaas na yung reserve, tinaas na yung reserve, tinaas na yung reserve requirement. Tapos pangalawa, anong ginawa niya? Kasi kung tumaas ang reserve requirement, tataas yung interest rate. O tama, no? Tinaas na yung reserve requirement. Yun yung ginawa niya, ha? Tapos ano pang ginawa niya? Tinaasan nila yung interest rate. No, kaya nga inis ako during that time. Kasi may effect ang interest rate sa stock market. inverse ang relationship nila eh. Kasi pagka interest rate tumaas, the people investing in the stock market will sell their money and then invest in fixed income securities. Kaya pagka interest rate naman bumababa, pupunta naman sa stock market yan. No? So, kaya during that time, when inflation was high, so Governor Jokno did is to increase the reserve requirement and then increase also the interest rate. Pero ngayong pandemic, ano naman ang ginawa niya? Ngayon, nagkaroon tayo ng coronavirus, no? Yung pandemic, yung COVID-19. Anong ginawa naman niya? Justin? Anong ginawa ni Governor Jokno?
Sir, nag-ano po sila, bumili po ng mga securities para po makapaglabas ng pera.
That one I'm not so sure about. No?
Or additional budget po, sir. Ganun.
Actually, on that part, I'm not so sure kung ginawa nila. But that can be done. That can be done. Pero hindi ko masyadong nabasa yung naglabas sila ng bumili sila ng maraming securities, no? Hindi ko siya nabasa. But that is one action that can be done during this pandemic, no? Pero ang ginawa niyang natatandaan ko, actually, lumabas to noong July, no, the reserve requirement was from 14%, then it went down to 12%. Di ba, pagka 14%, bumaba ng 12%, ibig sabihin, dumami yung pera, pinautang mo. Pero tama rin yung move na yun. Kung halimbawa ibebenta nila, magbebenta sila ng, bibili sila ng securities pala, hindi magbebenta, kundi bibili sila ng securities. Pero hindi ko alam kung yun ang naging move nila eh. No? Pero maaari, kasi bumaba ang interest rates. Kaya tumaas naman ang stock market. Actually, umakyat ang stock market because of that. Kasi dati, nung nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, nung nagkaroon ng start nung lockdown, that was in March 15, alam mo yung stock market natin, bumaksak, no, from 1,009, 1,008, biglang bumaksak to 5,600, 5,800. But right now, nasa 5,009, minsan tumutuntong ng 6,000. No? Pero tumaas siya compared dati. Kasi from 5,006, 5,005, nakakalungkot, no? Nanggaling tayo sa 9,000, tapos biglang bumagsak ng dire-diretso. Pero mas mababa nung pandemic. So the reason why they pump up the economy by decreasing the reserve requirement. And probably they did that, no? Yung nagbentang, bumili sila ng securities. Kaya lang hindi ko lang siguro nabasa yan, no? But it is a way to do that, no? Yan ang ginagawa ng mga gobyerno natin para sa inflation targeting natin na tinatawag. And then, the BSP can adopt two kinds of monetary policy. So isa expansionary, then the other one is contractionary. So from the word expansionary, para shortcut na lang kasi time na rin, ibig sabihin nun, pinapadami nila yung money supply. At pagka pinadami nila yung money supply, ibig sabihin nun, they're trying to revive the economy. Pero pagka contractionary naman yan, ibig sabihin nun, mataas yung inflation. So ang gagawin nila, i-contract nila yung pera, yung supply ng pera sa economy, palilitin nila so that the inflation rate will go down. So yan ang summary Kaya nagpasa na natin. Yan, na-explain ko na siya. Ito Okay, class? So punta tayo doon sa mga computations ngayon. No? Kasi inflation targeting, importante yan rin yung class. No? Kaya lang, to explain also yung inflation targeting, it has an advantage and disadvantage. Kasi meron tayong exporter at saka meron tayong importer. Di ba? At pagka nagkaroon ng inflation targeting, maaaring tumaas ang value ng pera natin, maaaring limit ang value ng pera natin. And it would be a disadvantage or sometimes disadvantage to the exporter or importer. Kasi hindi rin minsan maganda yung masyado mataas ang value ng pera natin because in that case, other countries may have difficulty buying our product kasi mataas ang value ng pera natin. Kaya nga ang Japan, di ba, ginawa nga nila, dinivalue nila ng gusto ang pera nila. Pinalit nila yung value ng pera nila. So that people can buy more products. Pero parang hindi rin ganun, no? Mahal din pagka product ng Japan, di ba? But the value of Japan, yung yen, yan ba yun? Tama yan, mababa ang value, di ba? But the advantage of that is that we can buy more products daw, sabi nila. So that is the reason for the inflation targeting. Pero, yun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko, it is not always good to have a high value of purchasing power. Kasi difficulty yan, no, on the part of the other countries buying our product. So yan. Yung reserve requirement, pinag-usapan na natin. So pag-usapan natin yung computation, ito, para mas maganda. So this process continues until the bank's deposits have grown sufficiently large such that banks willingly hold their current reserve balances at the new lower reserve ratio. Thus, a decrease in the reserve requirement results in a multiplier increase in the supply of bank deposits and thus the money supply. So the multiplier effect can be written as follows. So change in bank deposits, so 1 divided by the new reserve requirement. So punta tayo sa example mo, no, mas concrete na example. So ito. So assume a bank had 200 million in deposits and is required to hold 10% of cash as reserve requirement. So how much is the free cash? How much is the reserve requirement? So kung meron tayong 200 million deposits, so meaning the 200 million, this is already the consolidated deposits of all the financial institutions with BSP, no? Tapos, a deposit ng mga bangko. And then, the 10% cash reserve is required to be maintained with Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So, 10% ng 200 million is 20 million. So, ibig sabihin nun, out of the 200 million na deposits bali sa mga banks, they can lend 180 million. So, free cash siya for lending. Okay? So, tignan natin ang effect pagka binago yung reserve requirement. So, ito yung effect, no? So, assume that the bank had 200 billion in deposits and is holding 10% of cash as reserve requirement. So, what is the multiplier effect in a change in bank deposit if the reserve requirement was set to 5%? So, sabi natin, pagka reserve requirement binabaan, no? Anong mangyayari? Dadami yung money supply. Tama ba? O, tingnan natin kung tama yun. O, so, bali ganito siya. So 1 divided by 0.05 kasi 5% na lang yung reserve requirement. Then times 20 million, so dito yan, doon sa dati, and then yung present. Yan. So kaya meron tayong 20 million minus 10 million. So we will get 200 million. So ibig sabihin, once your reserve requirement decreased, no, from 10% to 5%, there will be an additional 200 million pesos, no, that can be circulated in the economy. So nakadagdag siya ng pera na pwedeng gamitin ng economy. O pwedeng ipautang, no? Pwedeng ipautang. So yan yung effect ng decreasing the reserve requirement. Nakuha, class? Naintindihan?
Yes po, sir.
Dressy Ann Ray Ramos, naintindihan ba yan?
Yes po, sir.
Sigurado Okay, so ganun siya. So kung binabaan yung reserve requirement, meaning the money supply in the economy will increase. So they can lend this money, no? Yung mga banks. Pero tingnan natin yung isang effect. So ito naman, dati 10% daw siya. No? Tapos naging 20% yung reserve requirement. Okay, so 1 divided by 0.2. And then we have that 200 million times 10%, and then 200 million times 20%. No, yan, maging 20 minus 40. So, ibig sabihin naman, pagka tumaas yung reserve requirement natin, you are getting, no, the BSP or BSP is getting 100 million pesos from the economy. Tatanggalin na sa circulation. Okay? O, kaya lumiit to circulation ng pera. So, what will happen to interest rate? It will increase. And then what will happen to inflation? It will decrease. Okay, nandyan yung inflation targeting din nila. Pareho lang. Okay. So discount rate, ito binanggit na rin kanina, pero pag-usapan natin. So discount rate is different from the discount rate when we use the present value. Okay? So this discount rate is the interest rate charged by commercial banks to other financial institutions. Pero actually, discount rate is charged by the central bank to banks, bale, no? Pero ito may bank to bank din. Kasi minsan ang term din dyan ay overnight borrowing. Kaya overnight borrowing because they only want to meet the requirement of BSP. No? Minsan 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, matagal na yung 1 month, 1 week pala. No? Tapos immediately it will be paid by the borrowing bank just to meet nga yung reserve requirement or cash position ratio required by the banks. Ha? So it is a tool also by BSP. So ito, okay na yan, no? So yung open market operations naman. Yung open market, ito yung buying and selling of treasury bills or treasury securities or other government securities in circulation. Kaya ito, lumalabas, pagka gusto na pakontiin yung pera sa no, pakontiin, magbebenta sila. Kaya pagka gusto na padamihin yung pera sa circulation, ang gagawin nila, sila, yung bibili sila, no? Ganon. Tapos meron tayong reverse repurchase naman, ito ang ginagawa nito, yung mga dealers natin, no? Kumbaga ipapairam sa bangko, tapos yung bangko babayaran din the next day. Kaya parang lumalabas, parang discount rate siya. No, reverse repurchase bale. But the difference, meron kasi yung dalawa, no? Meron siyang repurchase agreement at meron siyang reverse repurchase agreement. So anong difference ng dalawa? Kasi yung repurchase agreement, it is actually from the BSP going to the bank or the dealers going to the bank. Pero pagka reverse repurchase agreement, no? Ito, pwede na sa mga different institutions, from the dealers going to the different financial institutions. Iba-iba na, marami na. Ha? Pero ang concept nito is that ipapairam ni dealer yung pera sa bank and then si bank will pay that borrowing the next day. Kasi ang purpose lang is to meet the requirement of the BSP. Okay, so when do you know which type of monetary policy to employ? So one is when the economy has an excess supply of money, it is easier to buy goods and services. So pagdating sa ganyan, contractionary policy kasi sobra ang pera. Pero kung kulang ang pera, anong gagamitin? Ito na, expansionary monetary policy. So ito yung mga ginagamit nila, di ba? Reserve requirements, increasing discount rate, and yung open market operations. So contractionary policy natin, yan na ginagamit. Pagka nag-expansionary policy rin sila, ganun din nung ginagamit, no? Pero kabaliktaran lang nung contractionary monetary policy. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, class. Tapos ito siguro we will continue na lang next meeting. But please read this kung hindi naintindihan yung financial crisis na to, no? But the 2008 financial crisis is really something about yung subprime crisis, no, that took place in 2008 in the US. Subprime yan, no? Subprime crisis yan actually, no? Yan yung sa mga mortgages, no? So if you want to learn something about that, no, you just first read this and then we will discuss also next meeting if you have questions. Okay ba yan? So again, for Thursday, no, I will make an announcement within the day kung meron. But again, I will wait, no, for the capital structure and leverage PowerPoint from one faculty. Pagka meron, sorry kay Sir Alan, no, pero baka mali tayo. Unless, of course, yung other faculty will also discuss the capital structure next Tuesday. Pagka sila next Tuesday, susunod ako sa kanila. And then I will allow you to have your asynchronous next meeting. Okay? May question ba kayo? Clarifications regarding this before we say goodbye today? Maliwanag ba? Hello?
Yes po,
Maliwanag,
sir.
Maliwanag siya, ha?
Yes po.
Okay. Okay, so kung wala na, so we can say goodbye for today and then wait, just wait for the announcement. Ha? So wala akong announcement within the day. So hanggang bukas ng umaga, no? So most likely asynchronous tayo to give way to your subject, no? Sa auditing theory yan, di ba? Auditing theory.
Opo, sir.
Okay, so gano'n na lang, ha? Okay, so thank you very much. And then, nga pala, Matthew, yung mga questions nyo regarding the quiz, can you please send to me para makita ko muna yan, masagutan ko muna, ha?
Sige po, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. So goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
Thank you po, sir.
Labas na ako, ha? Bye-bye.